Welcome to Bedtime Stories. Today, I hope this doesn't creep you out a little bit too much, but tonight we're going to be reading about bugs. Is anyone out there scared of bugs? Anybody? Spiders? I am really scared of those 1,000-legger bugs with the long skinny body and all the little hairy legs. Oh, I don't like them at all. They really, really freak me out. But I know some of you like bugs, and bugs actually are pretty fascinating as long as they're far away. I really like fireflies. Fireflies are cool. All right, we're going to hear some stories about bugs, and the first one is called Be Nice to Spiders, and this is by Margaret Bloy Graham. This is an oldie but goodie. One morning, the keeper of the zoo was about to unlock the gate. He noticed something on the steps. It was a matchbox with a note that read, "Please look after Helen. I've had her since she was a baby, but I can't keep her anymore. We have to move to an apartment that won't take pets. Thanks, from Billy." What pet could be in that little tiny box, I wonder? The keeper opened the matchbox and out jumped Helen. "Great Scott," he said. "It's a spider!" He tried to catch her, but Helen was too fast for him. She had 8 legs and she moved like lightning. Whoa, she was fast, all right. Helen ran up a big maple tree. Then she quickly spun a long silk thread and lowered herself into the ventilator of a big building. There she goes. It was the lion house. There was a big old lion in one cage and a mother lion and her cubs in another. There were also lots of flies. They were buzzing in the lion's ears and they were crawling on their noses, and the lions were very annoyed. But Helen was delighted. She loved to eat flies. Right away, she set to work to catch them. She began by spinning a web with her silk thread. You see her up there? She's coming down to help. Get rid of those flies. First, Helen spun the outside of the web. See, she is right there. Then she dropped straight down the middle, and next she spun lots of threads from the center to the outside. Then she dropped down here, and she spun a little bitty spiral in the middle. And finally, she spun a big spiral. This part of the web was very sticky. When Helen was finished, she sat in the center and waited. And one by one, look what happened. All the flies got stuck in the web, and one by one, Helen ate them up. A week went by, and Helen kept catching and eating flies until there were no more flies in the lion house. She had caught and eaten them all. Look how happy those lions are. Now the big old lion snoozed peacefully all day long, and the mother lion licked her cubs and purred, and Helen was fat and satisfied. Next, she moved on to the elephant house. There were lots of flies there too, and elephants don't like flies any better than lions do. In a week, Helen had caught all the flies in the elephant house, and the mother elephant and her baby were happy and could once again enjoy their bath. You see, she made her little spider web up there. She cleaned it up. Then Helen moved on to, where'd she go? The zebra house. Flies were crawling all over the zebras and driving them wild. As soon as Helen had caught all the flies there, the zebras were able to eat their hay in peace. Helen went from one building to another, spinning webs and eating all the flies. The zoo became a peaceful place. All the animals were happy and content, and Helen was happy and content too. It was a spider's paradise. One morning, the keeper blew his whistle 3 times. All the men came running, and the animals looked up to see what was going on. "Boys," said the keeper, "the mayor is coming to inspect the zoo this afternoon at 4. The animals look fine, but the cages sure need cleaning up. And don't forget to get rid of all the spider webs." "But Chief," said his assistant, scratching his head, "I thought spiders were supposed to be sort of useful." "Joe," said the keeper, "those webs make the place look a mess. Okay, boys, get busy." The men started sweeping the cages, and then they hosed and scrubbed them down. Uh-oh. When they were cleaning the camel house, one of the men saw Helen. "Quick, give me a broom," he shouted. He took a big swing at her, but Helen disappeared. Oh, thank goodness. The whole zoo was clean and shining when the mayor arrived. "Excellent," said the mayor. "I'm delighted. I've never seen the place so neat and the animals looking so well." Meanwhile, Helen was still in the camel house, hiding in a crack in the ceiling. As the days went by, she grew very hungry, but she didn't dare come out. The flies began coming back, and the camels were irritable again. At last, Helen became so hungry she couldn't stand it any longer. That night, when no one was around, she started spinning another web. From then on, Helen stayed in the camel house catching flies, but she didn't dare go anywhere else, which was lucky for the camels. They were happy and contented again. But everywhere else in the zoo was a different story. It didn't take long for the flies to come back and bother all the other animals. The keeper went from cage to cage. "I can't understand it, Joe," he said. "When the mayor was here, the animals were in such good shape. Now look at them." "You're right, Chief," said Joe. "They sure look miserable. Look at all those flies everywhere." Ugh. Their last stop was the camel house. "Why, the camels seem fine," said the keeper. "And there don't seem to be any flies in here," said Joe. They both looked around carefully. "Look, Chief," Joe shouted. "Now I know what's going on. See that spider up there? It's eating all the flies. That's why the camels look so good. Spiders are useful. That's what I tried to tell you the other day." "Of course, Joe," cried the keeper. "I should have known it all along. Let's call the men." He blew his whistle and the men came running. "Boys," he said, "Joe's made a great discovery. Spiders are good for the zoo. They keep the flies from bothering the animals. They help us do our job. And so from now on, there's a new rule. Be nice to spiders." Soon the zoo became famous for its happy, healthy animals, and Helen was treated like a queen. One day, Helen's picture appeared on the front page of the paper. The headline read, "Local zoo named best of the year. 3 cheers for spiders," says keeper. That evening, the father of the little boy who had left Helen at the zoo said, "Billy, look at this." "Hey, it's my spider," said Billy. "It's Helen." "Well, well," said his father. "Instead of the zoo taking care of Helen, it seems that Helen is taking care of the zoo." The next morning, Billy ran to the zoo. "I'm Billy," he said to the keeper. "I'm the one who brought you that spider. Hey, look, she's made an egg sac. Oh, I bet there'll be plenty of baby spiders soon." And Billy was right. A few days later, out of the egg sac came lots of little spiders. From then on, Helen and her children and all the animals in the zoo lived happily ever after. See all her babies? And that is the end. I hope you like that story. I love that story of Helen. It makes me maybe not so afraid of spiders. How about you? Maybe they're actually pretty cool. All right. How about a spider that we all probably love? Ladybugs. This story is called Lucy Ladybug, and it is by Sharon King Chai. I like the pictures in here. Look at all those ladybug spots. All right. Lucy Ladybug felt that she didn't belong anywhere. Oh, no. "You can't be one of us," cried the other ladybugs. "You have no spots." Oh. Lucy flew off, feeling sad and alone. By and by, she noticed Fred Frog hopping through the grass. "Fred Frog," said Lucy, "you are so beautiful with your smooth green spots. I wish I could be like you." "But Lucy Ladybug," croaked Fred Frog, "you are beautiful too. You float so smoothly through the air. If you really want spots, please have one of mine. I have plenty to spare." Oh, look at that. She got a green spot. Lucy was so happy she had one spot. Before long, autumn arrived, and the leaves turned orange, red, and yellow, then floated gently to the ground. Lucy was admiring them as Carla Caterpillar cycled by. "Carla Caterpillar," cried Lucy, "you are so beautiful with your shiny yellow spots. I wish I could be like you." "But Lucy Ladybug," said Carla Caterpillar, "you are beautiful too. You have shiny red wings and you can fly so fast. I have lots and lots of spots. Please take one of mine." And she gave her one. Now she has 2, a green and a yellow. She was so happy. The land grew cold and with frost and icicles as winter approached. Lucy was watching the pretty snowflakes dance in the air when Felicity Fish jumped up from the pond. "Felicity Fish," cried Lucy, "you are so beautiful with your sparkling blue spots. I wish I could be like you." "But Lucy Ladybug," said Felicity Fish, "you are beautiful too. You have such lovely sparkling eyes. If spots are what you want, Please have one of mine. Lucy was so happy. Now how many spots did she have? 3. It wasn't long before spring arrived and the flowers awoke from their long slumber. Lucy was enjoying their sweet scent when she saw Bella Bird. Bella Bird, cried Lucy, you are so beautiful with your dazzling white spots. I wish I could be like you. But Lucy Ladybug, said Bella, you are beautiful too. You make everyone so happy with your dazzling smile. If you'd like an extra spot, please take one of mine. Uh-oh, how many does she have now? 4. Lucy was so happy. Now she had 4 spots. For the very first time, Lucy felt like a real ladybug. She smiled at the thought of her 4 spots as she made her way back home, past dazzling Bella Bird, past sparkling Felicity Fish, past Carla Caterpillar, now transformed into a butterfly, and past smooth-spotted Fred Frog jumping cheerfully through the air. Lucy returned from her journey with her 4 beautiful spots, a smooth green spot, a shiny yellow spot, a sparkling blue one, and a dazzling white one. She suddenly realized that she still didn't fit in with the other ladybugs. All of their spots were black. But when Lucy looked around, what did she see when she looked around? Oh, a good thing. Look! Oh my goodness. What was there? Can you see it all? Whoa! Everyone else agreed. They all had different spots. The end. I like that story. Did you like that story? Lots of pretty colors. Oh, it's hard to get it back in the book. Okay. Don't want to mess up the pages. All right. That was a good one. Okay. Should we hear another story about bugs? So we've talked about ladybugs. We've talked about spiders. Do you know what I saw yesterday outside on my porch? I saw the biggest, fattest bumblebee ever. Have you seen any bumblebees yet? They're so cool. This is called Buzz, and it is by Eileen Spinelli with illustrations by Vincent Yuen. All right. Here we go. Buzz loved being a bee. She loved the taste of honey. She loved dozing in her cozy hive. She loved nosing in the sunlit clover. But most of all, she loved to fly. Sometimes Buzz would swoop real low under the blackberry bramble where Snail lived. Sometimes Buzz would stop by to visit Snail. Snail, who could not fly, enjoyed hearing Buzz tell about the world beyond her berry bramble. Buzz would buzz the latest. Grasshopper got sick eating too much skunk cabbage. Mouse is off visiting her city cousin. Sometimes, just before dusk, Buzz would swoop real high to visit Old Owl in his willow tree. Look how cool that big tree is. Old Owl always had wise things to say. Honey isn't everything. Let sleeping owls alone. One day when Buzz was out flying, a storm came up and the wind blew a sheet of newspaper out from under a bench. The headline caught Buzz's eye. Buzz flew in for a closer look and was shocked as she read the story. Professor declares bees can't fly. What? Professor Emil Popkin's study is complete. He says the body of a bee is too chunky for flight. Airplanes, birds, and dragonflies are made to fly, he said, but a bee's chunky body, well, it's no business getting off the ground. The rest of the article was missing. But Buzz had read enough. If someone like Professor Popkin said bees can't fly, it must be true. Oh, no. Buzz bobbled and wobbled, and she fell plop to the ground. Befuddled, she huddled under the brambles. Snail tried to cheer Buzz. It's not so bad not being able to fly, she said. Buzz sniffled. It is for me. Snail offered Buzz a berry blossom. Buzz wasn't hungry. Berry juice? Buzz wasn't thirsty. Buzz sniffed the afternoon air. Uh-oh, I smell smoke. Oh, no. She peered into the woods and saw a flicker of flame. Fire, she cried. Old Owl was in there. Old Owl was a very sound sleeper, and nothing ever woke him before dusk. Buzz had to get to her friend, and fast. Buzz raced around a fallen pine cone. She scrambled over a twig. She stumbled, she tumbled, she flipped, and she tripped. Old Owl needed her, and all she could do was run. How would she ever get up that tree? Buzz wished she'd never read the professor's words. The words thumped like her heart beating as she raced over the forest floor. Bees can't fly. I must warn Owl. The more she thought of Old Owl, the less she thought of the professor's words, until suddenly, the milkweeds were below her, and the firelight was warm on the buzzing blur of her wings. She was flying. She darted into Old Owl's nest. Smoke billowed and made her drowsy. She settled woozily by her friend and buzzed as loudly as she could. Oh my goodness. She held that note until she toppled into Old Owl's ear. Old Owl awoke with a start. Fire, he cried, and he swooped from the nest. He perched in the hollow of a nearby maple tree and waited. Luckily, it soon began to rain. Later, when it stopped, Old Owl shook his damp feathers and sneezed, and out from his ear popped Buzz. Buzz, said Old Owl, what are you doing in my ear? I think I saved you, said Buzz, and I can fly. Of course you can fly, said Old Owl. You're a bee. Bees fly. Yes, said Buzz, you're right. I'm a bee, and I can fly. The end. I love the pictures. Don't you love the pictures? She's so cute. Okay. All right. Should we do one more? I have one more really good one. This is about a flea, and it's Samson, the mighty flea. Look at him. Isn't he cute? I think you'll like this one. Lots of pictures that are colorful and bright. And this is written by Angela McAllister with illustrations by Nathan Reed. Samson was the big star of Fleabag Circus. He could lift a match. He could lift a pea. He could lift the lovely Amelie. And would you believe he could lift all three? Hurrah, cheered the crowd. Hurrah! I'm a big star, said Samson, the mighty flea. But Samson wasn't happy. Though he boasted full of pride, he had an empty place inside. I need more people to amaze, he told Amelie. It's showtime. It's time to show the world how strong I am. Fleabag Circus just isn't big enough for me. Uh-oh, he wants to be bigger. Amelie packed Samson's suitcase. No one saw that she tucked in something small. No one saw her tiny teardrop fall. Oh, she was sad. Samson said goodbye to Fleabag Circus. So long, my friends. I'm going to be the biggest star in the world. And off he went. The world was much, much bigger than Fleabag Circus. Whoa, look how big that is. He's in a city. Samson put up his sign and started performing amazing feats of strength. He lifted a button. He lifted a stick. He lifted a stick more than twice as thick, but nobody noticed his thick stick shtick. Samson didn't give up. He trained day and night. He made his act more difficult, more daring, more stop and staring. Whoa. Nobody will notice a flea with a pea, said a beetle. Go back where you belong, said a bug. But Samson was sure he wouldn't be happy until he was the biggest star in the world. As he packed up his act, he spotted his chance. The Circus of Dreams, that's the place to find a huge audience, he thought. So off he went. Samson climbed high where everyone could see him. He showed off his mighty muscles and super strength. It was the most awesome performance of his life. Then he took a bow. Look at his silly flea muscles. And the huge crowd cheered. Hooray for the world's biggest star. Oh, but I don't know if they're shouting for him, are they? I think they're shouting for this guy. I'm the biggest star. They're clapping for me, thought Samson the mighty flea. But something was wrong. Although he was almost bursting with pride, he still had an empty feeling inside. Cheer up, said a fly. It's always lonely at the top. Suddenly, he missed his old friends. The world seemed very, very far from Fleabag Circus. He left his match. He left his pea. He left a sign for no one to see and crept off to hide, as sad as could be. Whoops! Samson's hiding place started to bounce and shake. Hold on tight, chuckled an old flea. Life's a bumpy journey. Oh boy, he's going for a ride on that dog now. Samson held on tight, but the hidden present flew out of his suitcase, a hanky stitched with love. It said, "You are my biggest star from Emily." Then he heard a familiar voice. "Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the world's strongest flea, lovely Emily." Uh-oh. Samson crept closer. Could it be Emily, his Emily, trying to lift a pea? She swayed, she wobbled, and the crowd jeered. Boo. "You can do it," cried Samson. He knew it was true. She didn't give up. She raised her brave chin. She lifted her arms. Oh, how thin. 1, 2, 3, she did it. Hooray, cheered the crowd. Hooray. Samson gazed so proud, so amazed he felt dizzy and dazed. He forgot about being big or small. He forgot about himself at all. Emily filled him with happiness. "Welcome home, Samson," said his old friends. "Are you the biggest star in the world?" Samson smiled. "Fleabag Circus is the world for me," he said. "And its biggest star shines here for all to see. The bravest, strongest, loveliest Emily." The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed Bug Storytime. And I would be interested to see what kind of bugs you can find out and about outside by your house. I bet you'll see some spiders, maybe some flies, maybe a ladybug, hopefully some bees. Have a great night. Bye.